ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emanuel Rose.
Well, welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. We're going to have a great conversation today with somebody who can shed some light into the development of Gen AI and LLMs and their applications over the last few years, and talk to us about how we can best leverage these new tools to benefit our marketing and our businesses. So I want to welcome Steve Coryell to the show. Thanks for spending some time with me today, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, my friend.
You betcha. Wow, I mean, you've been duking it out in this space since at least 2007. So we got to get a little bit of the history here just to catch up with you.
So it's been a journey, and of course, a couple things I have going against me is my age, and I'm trying to keep up with these 12-year-olds, 16-year-olds, and 28-year-olds as the technology flies.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, with my history in my past in law enforcement, military, I've been heavily involved in technology anyway, so I've been able to stay in touch with that process. I've got a great team behind me. So as it changes, I spend a lot of time on research, I'm sure, as well as you do.
Sure.
At the end of the day, it's funny that we talk to so many people about how to market their products, and I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs, counseled many of them. I'm a serial entrepreneur, been rich a few times, broke most of the time, but I do it for the ride. If you're not doing it for the ride, you're not a real entrepreneur anyway.
That's right.
You're just trying to get rich. So money's always come well enough just by being responsible and doing a business with integrity, which leads me to kind of where we're at today. Media Data Network, my corporation, we started in 2014, that company. So it's our 10th year anniversary.
Yeah.
And we focused a lot on healthcare.
Okay.
Only because I'm presently in the middle of a 30,000 square foot clinic in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have 3 clinics here in town. We're heavily, and I'm right in the middle of a homeless town. So we help veterans without insurance or homelessness, those who don't have money for insurance. We provide that service. It's called a federal qualified housing.
Yep.
So, healthcare. So we provide that. So I provide the back end technology for that. And in doing so, I've been lucky enough to become an Inception member with NVIDIA, a great friend and partner of ours.
Yep.
And so that's when we started getting into the private cloud as it started. And so I've owned and helped build a couple of data centers. So in the process, I've tried to stay with the technology. We have our own little studio here in our clinic. As you know now, you don't need a studio anymore. We can just do it just like this, and we're going to get to the same people.
Just need a closet at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're competing with all these girls with a handheld thing and dancing and jumping, and nobody would pay to see me dancing and jumping. So we're going to try to stick with that technology. But as you do in the marketing strategy, all these companies are building so many great products and great ideas, and AI is going to do this and AI is going to do that. But one thing I've always purported and taught everyone that I know in entrepreneur businesses, it comes down to 2 or 3, supply and demand. Sure. You can build it all day long, but the old story of build it, they will come no longer works.
Right.
You got to reach out and touch somebody. And to do that, you've got to find a magic way to do that. That's what I respect about what your company's doing. You stay deep in that marketing strategy, and on top of that, hopefully AI is going to make that easier. I see both sides. It's going to make it more difficult
Yep.
because identifying the truth, identifying the integrity behind the marketing strategy. Uh, so in trying to do that, I try to get control of the device, or at least how you handle the people that you're trying to sell to.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, with all my research and analytics and stuff that we've done, it still comes down to the mobile phone.
Right.
Because no matter what you're doing, people don't carry big laptops anymore, and my eyes don't deal with I got the coolest cell phone out there as an Android, and I've got all the cool tech toys, but at the end of the day, uh, the secret is, you got to have availability. Everybody now expects instant gratification.
Sure.
And
Yep.
if you're not providing that, I promise you, the restaurant next door is, or
Right.
somebody else is. And they're going to pull that customer away from you. And you're going to start seeing that more and more. We're seeing it already, and you're seeing it in the marketing strategy.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The biggest problem is the small business owner has not got A, the time, B, the technology knowledge, which takes 6 to 10 hours a day. They're
Yeah.
trying to run a restaurant or a bar, or they're trying to operate a church, or they're trying to run a health clinic. They don't care about all this other. They're just trying to do their job. So what I found in the research we've done, and I've been in the mobile app business for many, many years, we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them out there. But as we began to research, there's a new technology. It's about 5 years old now, called a progressive web app.
Okay.
And that's I'm betting, I guess I could tell I'm betting the farm on it.
Yeah.
Because the PWA in its development doesn't really, the privacy and security is much easier to establish.
Okay.
I don't have to request Google's permission or Apple's permission to put up my app. I don't have to take 10 days to update something. A PWA is updated instantly. And that's why it's called a progressive web app. It does take any space on your phone. But the magic of these new mobile apps, the new PWAs, Emanuel, that's so exciting is that once you have it on your phone, you and that customer have instant conversations all of the time.
Yeah.
All the way from geofencing to, say, all of a sudden you look in your freezer and, oh man, we've got 50 extra T-bones we didn't sell. You could throw a T-bone special out there, do a push notification, which, by the way, you can do 1 million a month at no cost, 100% read rate. And you can send
Crazy.
that to somebody within a 5-mile circle, T-bones at half price for the next 4 hours
Right.
at so-and-so. I can tell you that we have restaurants doing that every day.
Uh-huh.
The least that we found successfully is 30% is the worst that they've increased. So it's always 30% or more their income increased upon.
So that's an exceptional email read rate would be 30%, and you're saying that's the lowest for the
and
PWA.
100% push notification, because it pops. You got to read it to turn it off.
Right.
Push
Yeah.
notification
Yeah.
with no cost.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Building a PWA is about half the cost of a mobile app.
Uh-huh.
Maintaining it's a couple $100 a month. Use every restaurant and clinic spends far more than that in marketing, you know. And so we had do that. We do it for groups. One of our biggest clients here in Las Vegas is the Park and Recs department. So if you want to go have a picnic, you want to see a security thing, you go right on the park, check the weather, check a map. So once you've downloaded a PWA, it'll tell you what's happening. It'll kick out a map about how to find the place.
Nice.
It is really everything that a mobile app has, a PWA has, plus another 50%.
Yeah.
Because the speed that you have conversation with your customer. With a mobile app, you can market to a customer, but very few mobile apps can you jump right on that mobile app and talk to them.
Yep.
So with a PWA, really, T-bones at half price, call them.
Yeah. And so it's more like a bookmark that lives on somebody's phone. That's a direct to the website.
Absolutely. You've got it right there.
Okay.
And the coolest thing about a PWA is you can't overload it. You want to do the weather. You want to do travel. You want to do traffic. You want to do emergency news. You want to do so. Our biggest markets that we're focusing on right now, and the markets are unlimited. Our number one market, of course, are restaurants and bars
Nice.
because they always struggle with because there's another one a quarter mile away.
For sure. Yep.
And if they're not doing something special and they're not listening to their customers, then they're losing money. Even if they stay in business, they're losing money.
Of course.
And surprisingly, Emanuel, our second largest market are churches.
Huh.
And the reason is because there's finally an affordable way that you could have the church, and it's the security and privacy, of course. Nobody's monitoring this on your PWA. There's no Google, no Apple, nobody's saying, hey, you can't say that about Jesus. You can't say there's nobody saying any of that stuff. And you can grow your congregation. They can watch the sermons. They can do donations. They can do tracks about how to find your church. So that surprisingly, but it's one of our largest markets.
That's amazing. It does make sense though that I think that's been one of the big roadblocks for people, right? Is I want to get an app done, but I don't want to go through the process of getting certified on Google and an Apple and having to deal with all their security updates as well as whatever their content management is.
You're absolutely right. And then you add on top of that, of course, the hassle of they take some of your money. You know, okay, we're going to run this for you, but we're going to charge you, and we're going to monitor you. We're going to take your data. We're going to use your data, and you may not know it, but we're going to sell to your customers. So that doesn't happen with the PWA because you own that.
I love it. That's an amazing product,
and we provide that. So it's not a new thing. My website pwamobile.com. There's a wonderful Q&A on the bottom of that. Of course, we're in Chat GPT 4.0. We got chat bots all over that place. It'll tell you, answer questions for you. We'll have that on any mobile app PWA that we build for a customer.
Yep.
Is that so if a customer's asking about why T-bones or whatever that is, those answers will come up and be available. So if you can get your customer to start trusting your progressive mobile app, they'll start telling you, hey, I'd like to know what's Thursday. Make reservations.
Yeah.
Tell them, okay, your seat's available in 15 minutes. It goes on and on. There's nothing you can't build into that. Some of the big ones using it, Hulu's launching a new PWA for entertainment and OTT television network. So that's the reason is, of course, now, instead of just watching a television show on a PWA media, you can converse with the company. Hey, I didn't like that, or that was great. It'd be great if he had a Superman suit on, or whatever it is. You have two-way conversation, and all of that, of course, with AI tells you how to improve your company, your network, or whatever you're doing. Uber uses PWAs. Starbucks PWAs. So this is not just something for the little guy. There's monster guys doing this. So fits right into your portfolio.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
I'm interested to get your take on a small business and how you recommend that they leverage and get their feet wet in with the generative AI space, with the chat or Claude. So what's your take on that, Stephen?
Well, again, see, all they're doing is they're on that mobile phone looking for somebody to tell them something.
Right.
And the problem is they believe what they're reading, or they believe what they see, and because almost all of those sites, all of them do not give you two-way communication. If you're doing a app like we're talking about, and you're saying, oh, can that really be true? Or how can I find a church that does this? Or how can I would like a bar that does martinis, and whatever that is, we provide that app provides that. So they're going to expect that. The most important thing, and the thing that scares me, and we've talked none about my history except that Marine Corps, law enforcement, I've been in that all of my life, red, white, and blue. We have to watch what we read and what people are telling us. AI is for good, but I'm telling you, there's some evil people out there
Sure.
Emanuel, and we've got to keep an eye on them. I do a lot of work with law enforcement now and trying to find missing kids and that sort of thing, because AI is going to help with that. But you start entering the dark web in AI, that becomes a very scary rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And the problem is nobody even knows that somebody's watching. Nobody knows whether they're just believing it,
Yeah.
And it's actually a threat to our society if we're not careful. So we have a big responsibility, especially us older guys, because we've lived through some things through our lives that were very, very ugly, and they started like this.
Right.
They started, well, just one guy did this or just one little company did that. All of a sudden, there were millions of people affected because that started. So we're going to have to stay vigilant. And those of us that have the integrity and the ability to watch and monitor that, we're going to have to step up. And we're going to have to hand that off to those younger people that we're working with, that this is not for free. One of my most funny jokes, I talk to a lot of people, kids, and they all tell me, "Oh, this app is free. I can do that for free." And I always laugh and I said, "Listen, somewhere, someplace, somebody's writing a check.
Yeah,
I don't care what you're saying. You dig deep enough, somebody's writing a check.
Yeah.
And you're paying for it. You may not know how, but that check's coming out of your pocket.
That is the truth.
However that works.
Well, what about in the health club space? Or health and healthcare space? What are you seeing for innovation in that space?
That's one of the most exciting that we have. Our costs are so high, but here, we don't even insurance. You can come in our clinic, and for $35 we'll see you.
Okay.
We've got a dentist, we've got an eye expert, and but we're focused a lot on mental health here, and the magic of what's happening with AI and mental health, and what we're doing with our PWAs we've partnered with a couple of companies that actually have a chat bot that talks to you and kind of tests levels of threats, of violence, of suicide. And so we should probably in another month have a special podcast on just the suicide and PWA and how that technology is going to save lives.
I'd love to hear about that.
And how we can identify somebody through a 2-minute interview with AI, because within a hundredth of a second, with the speed of AI, you can tell they're blinking too fast, eyes are rolling, the speech is changing. And we have those algorithms already. We're building them.
Neat.
We're working on them. We've done tests all over the country with them. And I think that's the biggest change, because if we got one big problem in this country, it's mental health.
For sure.
We witnessed that in the last 5 days.
We have, indeed.
And that's a mental health issue, bullied all of his life. And all of a sudden, if I'm going to go, I'm going to take somebody with me.
Right.
And somehow that wasn't read, wasn't interpreted. We've got to do a better job on that. And I think the most exciting part of healthcare, now you can use it for everything from doctor's appointments and prescriptions and all of those things, and how to find the hospital, nearest hospital, 911. That's all built into the PWA already.
Nice. Yep.
And you can sign up for a class, but I'm probably out talking to myself, aren't I?
That's okay. No, but I hear what you're saying is that you're able to use it as a triage tool and
Absolutely.
to accelerate a treatment protocol based on a video interview. And the
Absolutely.
software is coming to support that, which is a great use of the tool.
And as long as you respect the privacy of the person that you're talking to, and the person that's talking to them has got the authority and capability of helping that person.
Sure.
All of that has to be watched. So as you can tell, I could talk about this all day.
Well, I appreciate your time and in this conversation, and I think it's going to be one of a series if you're open for it, Stephen.
I'm up, buddy. I'm up for it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking
welcome.
the time. And let's just tell everybody how they can get in touch with you if they want to have a conversation.
Go to pwamobile.com. It tells everything. It tells costs, instructions, how to do that, how to get a hold of us. And it's a pretty clean, quick website, very informative. A lot of videos if you want to know what's kind of talking about. And so I did appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today, buddy. We'll do this again.
I hope so. Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Talk to you later.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.